Hi guys, Alex Taylor here down at Heron's Reach, and today I'm going to show you the difference between driver and irons for setup and golf swing to make sure that your all-round game is better than ever. So I get loads of guys down for me here at Heron's Reach or even online lessons who say that they're a great driver of the golf ball, really find that incredibly easy despite what everyone else says, but they really struggle with their shots from the floor and irons particularly. Vice versa, I get guys who are really good with their irons but just can't get off the tee at all with driver. So in today's video, I'm going to show you what the fundamental difference is of how you need to deliver the club differently with driver than you do with irons, but how making some subtle little changes at address will make it much easier for you to be able to drive the ball well and strike those irons, so hopefully have a more rounded tee to green game. So if you're new down to my channel, welcome down to Alex Taylor Golf. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do enjoy today's video and you don't currently subscribe to my channel, please consider clicking the button below, ring the notification bell, and then you'll find out whenever I drop a new video. But for now, let's find out what the difference is between driver and iron swing. Right then, so like I said at the start of today's video, if you're one of those golfers who's really good with their irons but struggles with driver, or vice versa, someone who's great with driver and struggles with irons, this is the perfect video for you. So we're going to help you understand why the setup needs to be a little bit different and potentially why the swing itself needs to be a little bit different so that you can become a great driver of the ball and a great iron player. So let's start off with how the club actually travels into impact and why they are two slightly different swings and why we need set up differently. So when the golf ball is on the floor, to hit a really good iron shot, we need the club head traveling down at impact so that the low point is after the golf ball. That compresses the ball, kind of gets the club shaft leaning forward and gets us some nice distance and accuracy. But when you switch on to driver, the golf ball, particularly with me here, the golf ball's way up in the air, at least half the ball above the club head. And the driver's actually not got a lot of loft on it. So what we're trying to do is, instead of getting the club traveling down through the ball, we're actually looking for the club head to be moving up. And so we're looking for the low point of the golf swing to be behind the golf ball. And that's the two key differences between a shot from the floor and a driver when it's up on that high tee. I mean, even when you tee the ball up with an iron or a fairway wood, you would still like to see the club moving down through impact. So let's initially talk about irons, how we're going to set up, how we're going to swing and get us hitting really top quality golf shots. So what we're looking for is the ball position does move around a little bit relative to what iron you've got. I've got a 7-iron in my hand and I have done videos previously on how ball position varies and how you can keep it nice and simple. So I'll put that on a card up in the corner if anybody needs to check on ball position. But for 7-iron, I'm going to keep the ball very central and very much in line with my sternum. Now, obviously as you stand normally, your weight tends to be quite 50-50, but with an iron shot, what we're looking to do is at address to just have a tiny bit more pressure on that lead foot. So maybe 60-40, at worst 55-45. So what that'll do is it'll get that sternum a little bit more in line with the golf ball and gets the shoulders not perfectly level because your lead hand is higher than your trail hand, so that shoulder should be a little higher. But from that position, it gives us a much better opportunity of now getting our low point after the golf ball. So what we're looking to do in the swing from that setup is, as you swing back, the weight will move, but we're not looking to get really behind the golf ball. We're looking to feel a bit more centered over the golf ball. And then as you start down, we shift into that left side. That will move our low point ahead of the golf ball and help us achieve that nice, powerful impact position. So let's hit a shot. From there, I'm going to feel ball position very, very central. I've got my hands in a good place on the club. I'm going to feel just that little bit more pressure onto that left side, and then stay kind of, feel that I don't move off the ball, feel I stay more over the ball as I swing back. And that is absolutely ripped. Now, for any of you guys out there who are already really good iron players, you'll watch that and you'll say, that's easy, I can do that already. For any of you guys who struggle with irons, you will probably see that at address, you will tend to favour that back foot, ideally because you guys are trying to get underneath the golf ball. But what that's going to do is it's going to keep the low point behind the golf ball. You're either going to hit back here, or you're going to miss the ground and thin the ball or top the ball. So any of you guys who do struggle, really feel a little bit more pressure on that lead foot. Don't let the weight move too much. The weight will still transfer and the pressure will still move around quite naturally. But stay fairly centered and then drive into that lead foot start down. And it gives such a nice powerful flight. You get lots and lots of energy transfer from club head to golf ball. And if you can do that, happy days, lots and lots of good iron shots. Now, this is where it changes though. As we go to driver, we said obviously the golf ball is now in the air. And instead of having the club moving down through impact, we're looking for the club to be working more up through impact. So most of us will be aware, again, ball position plays a big part to this, how instead of the ball being very central in line with the sternum, we're looking for that ball position to be more that kind of left heel, maybe left armpit, lead shoulder. So in theory, even if I get my body in a fairly similar position, the club might still move down, but would be more shallow. But we do want to make a little bit of adjustment to set up, not just with ball position. So from that ball position, we want to then feel that we get our spine to just tilt a little bit more away from the golf ball, away from the target. Maybe have kind of 55%, 60% pressure on that back foot this time, and have a few practice swings, and straight away, if you were to skim the ground now, which we won't do in the shot, we can see how that low point's back here, and that's going to get that club moving up through impact. So it is a very, very different feeling. And for me, it's very rare that I see a guy who struggles with driver who hits up too much. Most golfers, I think, because they practice an awful lot off the floor, even with driver, they tend to move the ball forward. They get the shoulders too level, too much weight that way, and the club really travels down. And they either hit it off the top of the club and it pops up and goes nowhere, or they take all the loft off the club and end up trying to add loft by leaving the club face wide open. So I think with driver, golfers just get themselves in a lot of trouble, more down to a misunderstanding of what they're trying to do. So we saw those few practice swings, certainly the bottom of the swing being behind the golf ball. There's one of the greenkeepers just down the range. Probably say if I aim at him, he might be safe. Right, okay, he's out of the way now. So when you get that ball further forward, we're going to feel that we tilt the spine angle away from the target. And I can definitely feel that creates a little bit more pressure into this back leg. And then as I swing, I still want to feel a drive forward, but I want to feel my sternum stays behind the golf ball. And as the club goes up, that's going to add a little bit of loft to that driver. So really, really good in theory. Wasn't quite out the middle, but fairly straight, just turning over a touch, but nice and high and a really, really good distance. Now what I would say is, hitting up with driver is important if you want to maximize distance. You don't have to actually get the club working up perfectly through impact to hit good drives, but it does help. And even the guys who maybe we struggle to get them hitting up, because the low point's been so far ahead, even getting just slightly after and minimizing that downward movement of the club really, really improves their driving a huge amount. So if you're somebody who does kind of sky the ball, hit it very, very low, it could be that you're getting that angle of attack of the club wrong. So putting those little changes in setup for you might just get you driving the ball better than ever before. Right then, so hopefully you can see it's not maybe as different or maybe as challenging as you may have been led to believe. If you can make sure that when any time the ball's on the floor, you get the club moving down through the golf ball, so you're getting that low point of your swing after the ball, that's really, really going to help improve your strike. And with driver, if you can get the club probably worst case moving level or even moving up, that's really going to take your driving next level. And those few little adjustments that set up should make it a whole lot easier for you to achieve. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. If you enjoyed today's content, you don't currently subscribe, hit the button below, ring the notification bell, and then you find out whenever I drop a new video. Follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Ali Taylor Golf. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.